Hey guys, this is going to be a review of the season 2 finale of Reign. So the last episode ended with Mary going to Conde and telling him she was pregnant with his child, and it was like a huge cliffhanger, and I think a lot of people figured that she was lying. I wasn't entirely sure the first time I watched the episode, but the more I thought about it afterwards, the more I thought that she was lying, because I couldn't really see where they would take the show if she was telling the truth. So she was lying, and we actually found that out like really early on in the episode, which I hadn't been expecting. I hadn't been expecting them to carry it on much longer than they did. This entire episode actually really felt kind of like episode 21 felt like it was so packed full of stuff. And this episode, when I go back and think about it, it feels like a lot happened, but as I was watching it, it didn't feel like there was in comparison to episode 21 before it. Like, a lot happened, but for the most part, it didn't feel as like high stakes as episode 21. It felt like it was resolving stuff from the season, which was good. But it seemed like all resolution and a little bit of setup for season 3, as opposed to like some huge big thing. Like, it kind of felt like we got that last episode. And I mean, there was so much build up for Conde's like attempt at murdering Francis, and then he gets stabbed like within 5 minutes, I think, and is a prisoner for the rest of the episode, which I thought the episode was good, don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't what I was expecting, because it just seemed like it very abruptly ended. That being said, I'm glad Mary was lying, because as I've said countless times this season, I hate Conde. I'm actually really disappointed that he escaped, just because I don't want him to show up again. Like, I don't care if he dies or not. If he escaped and never comes back, that's fine with me. I just don't want him to reappear. I don't want him in the show. I hate him. I don't hate him in a good way. Like, Narcisse I hate, but he adds stuff to the show, so I'm okay with him being there. Conde, I just want gone. And I'm really hoping that him escaping means that he's gone and not coming back, but that didn't happen last time. And I just really don't want to see him again. Greer's girls helped out, which I thought was like a nice touch, and I really liked how Mary said that she was going to go and see them and tell them like that they were friends and everything. I thought that that was really like a nice little bit of the episode, but I was a bit confused as to why Greer is back in the castle, because I feel like I missed something, because like she was banished and everything, and I don't know when she was allowed to come back, or like why. I guess there's a lot of uprising. I guess we're supposed to know that she's back because the thing with the Protestants is over, but it seemed like really easy, like she was just suddenly back in the castle. And now I have questions about what her like status is right now. Like, I don't think she gets her title back, but she's allowed in the castle, and I'm just confused about where she stands right now, and I feel like I missed something while I was watching the episode, like just didn't notice it or something. And Claude really starts going after Delphine in this episode, because she thinks that Delphine is like a shapeshifter monster thing that she saw in the corridor, and that wasn't resolved. We still don't know what Claude saw. I honestly think it is Delphine. I feel like they just used, I feel like they used this episode to set Delphine up as a big villain in season 3, because she obviously did whatever that binding spell is on Bash, which I feel is going to come back and be very, very bad. And then they burn her at the stake for being a witch, and she escapes. And I feel like her escape was definitely like a huge signal that she's going to be a big like antagonist in season 3, and the spell that she performed on Bash is going to cause a lot of problems. So I feel like a lot of this episode was setting up season 3, which I think is good. We should have some idea of what's coming going into season 3. But in some ways it felt like more setup than even a conclusion of season 2, and I'm not sure how I feel about that episode. I don't really like Delphine. I mean, I probably shouldn't, considering she seems to be like an evil witch, But it is interesting, the supernatural elements with that, like, because her magic seems to actually work. And Rain's always kind of towed the line over whether magic is really happening or not, because it'll seem like there's magic, but then there's other possible explanations too, so you're never really sure which it is. And I feel like they're playing with that even more. So it could be interesting. I can see the potential for that being good. I can also see the potential for me hating them going in that direction. I'll wait and see in season 3 how I feel about like Delphine being like a villain or an antagonist or anything like that. I don't know if she's going to be like the primary villain or she's just going to be like one storyline, because Conde did escape and I can definitely see him coming back, which I don't want. I would rather Delphine be like the primary villain than have like Conde back. But I am worried. And Elizabeth is definitely going to be like a huge thing. For some reason that didn't occur to me like 5 seconds ago. But like Elizabeth is going to be like a huge deal in the next season, but I don't know if she's going to be like directly. I think she's going to stay in England and not come to France, so there has to be like conflict within France, you know? Like I feel there can be conflict being fueled by Elizabeth, but I feel like there needs to be like a big villain like actually there, and I feel like Delphine is going to accomplish that while the like bigger thing with Elizabeth is going on. So I feel like she'll be like the primary antagonist that's actually like, I don't know, I feel like it'll provide more like immediate action and drama while stuff with Elizabeth is also going on. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. It does in my head. And Kenna goes back to Bash and tells them that she wants to reconcile and everything, which was great for me because I love them together. But then we find out that she's pregnant, and which I feel like I should have known when she was having the conversation. The General Renaud, I actually remembered his name this time. I almost didn't. But she's like, I feel like when she was talking to him, it's obvious looking back on it that she was pregnant, and he knew. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, first of all, I don't know if Kenna is going. I'm wondering if we're gonna have a time skip before next season and it'll have been like 9 months and Kenna will be back or something, because she's leaving. Like, she's leaving to go have the baby in secrecy, and then she was talking to the king, prince guy who's becoming a king, and talking about going to go see him because obviously she wants to like try and get in with him and everything. So I don't know if that's a sign that she's leaving the show or if she will be back, and I don't know if we're going to know that until season 3 airs. I haven't heard anything about the actress leaving, and I follow her on Twitter and everything, but I don't know. I could very well have missed something. I've been so out of the loop with finals and everything recently that it's incredibly possible I missed something. But I do wonder like what they're doing with her. It would have been like an easy way to kind of write her off, especially now that Bash has all of that Delphine stuff going on, just getting rid of Kenna right there. But I mean, I don't want Kenna to be off the show, so I'm not entirely sure if that's what they're doing or if they are going to bring her back. I don't know, it just seemed kind of out of the blue, and it does kind of feel like it was a way of getting her off the show. But I don't want it to be, and I want her to come back, and that's really the only thing that I've like really thought about with that storyline so far. And Catherine made Francis think that his son was dead, which was terrible, and I'm actually really happy that Francis blew up at Catherine because I feel like that was like a long time coming. Catherine's my favorite character, but she's my favorite character because she's a terrible person. So I thought that was a great scene. I love that he banished her. I love that she went to Elizabeth. Like, I think that this is setting up something really, really awesome, and I'm really excited for it. I really like Elizabeth's character in the show so far. I really like how that's all being presented, and I'm really, really excited for Elizabeth to be in the next season. And I'm just from like the small glimpse we got of Elizabeth in this episode, I'm really excited to see her and Catherine interacting in the coming season, and it's going to be really interesting because Catherine has always had like a lot of power and leeway because she was queen, and then she was the king's mother and could pretty much get away with anything she wanted without that much fear. Obviously that backfired because she went too far and ended up banished, but now she's in Elizabeth's court, and Elizabeth isn't her daughter, and she's going to have like much more limited power. Like, she has to do whatever Elizabeth wants, or something bad is going to happen. Like, she could possibly end up killed instead of banished this time. And seeing those different dynamics and seeing Catherine have to be like completely submissive to someone is going to be incredibly interesting, I think. And I think their personalities interacting and Elizabeth asserting power over Catherine is going to lead to a lot of really awesome stuff in season 3, and I'm really excited about that. I also think that they're going to have more Narcisse and Lola in the next season. I still don't really like them together. I do think after this episode that he has genuine feelings for her. Like, I think that's pretty clear at this point. So I'm not really worried about him betraying her or anything like that, but I still don't really like them together. It still bothers me, like things he's done in the past still bothers me to the point that I can't really support them together. Well, I'll wait and see how they deal with it in the next season, and I'll try to be like open-minded towards where it goes. But as of right now, I'm not really all that excited about the idea of their relationship being explored further. I feel like I'm probably one of the only people who is not really at all enthusiastic about that. I am really happy that Mary and Frances are on good terms now, though. I'm hoping that they both take Mary's words at the end of the episode to heart and there's no more love triangles. I really hope. I feel with the hints that Frances is still sick at the end of the episode, I'm worried that he's going to die like he does historically. I am like really worried about that, or where they're going to take that. They're at least going to play with the idea and like hint at it, and I think that will be enough drama that a love triangle is not going to be necessary. I mean, if there is a love triangle while Frances is possibly dying, I'm not going to be at all happy about that. I'm not going to be at all happy about a love triangle with Mary and Frances at all, because it's already been done twice and they do not need to do it again with yet another guy. And I really hope that if Condé does come back, which I don't want him to do, but if he does, I really hope it's not to further that love triangle, because if Condé comes back and there's like a continued love triangle with Mary Frances and Condé, I don't even know if I will watch Reign anymore, to be completely honest, because if there's a love triangle at all with Mary and Frances anymore, I may stop watching the show, which I never do with shows. Like, I stick with shows no matter what, pretty much, because I can't let things go. But if there's another love triangle, I do not know if I can handle it anymore, and I very well may just stop watching it, because I'm so fed up with that, to be completely honest. But I think that is all that I have. This is probably extremely long, with the season finale, so that's to be expected, I guess. I will see you guys with more Reign reviews in the fall when it comes back, and obviously I'll have other videos before then, but I will see you guys later. Bye.